many of your views about this climate go against the so-called consensus. What have the reaction been on the science from the science community and the political environment because of your
Well, a lot of
thoughts?
climate scientists have become political activists, okay, and they're 200,000 followers on Twitter and really have publicity agents and the whole works. I mean, and this is like big business for them. Writing books that sell a lot of copies, going on the lecture circuit and charging a lot of money for their lectures. Okay, so are those scientists anymore even? No, they're behaving like politicians. And they're more interested in the publicity and influencing politics. So there's a whole branch of climate science that has gone in that direction. The people, what I would call the rank and files, sitting at their desks or going out in the field and making measurements and evaluating theories and stuff like that. I'm not an outsider at all in that community. The people who are political activists don't like me because I raise uncomfortable questions.
Did that have any consequences for you, like
Oh yeah,
privately or
yeah.
career?
Okay, I retired prematurely from my university position. People in the administration didn't like what I was doing. I became marginalized. And I could see the writing on the wall, and I said, no, I would much rather be in the private sector and work for myself rather than having to play these kind of games. So I retired prematurely from the university.
Is that something you see from other scientists who share your opinion that it has some kind of consequences for their private and career?
Sure, they're very quiet. A lot of people, especially those who work for government labs, are very quiet about what their opinion is about all this because they don't want to get in trouble. People are, and it shouldn't. Okay, I can understand that being a problem in a government lab, but in a university, no, you should really be able to challenge the orthodoxy. And I mean, that's what research in science is all about. I mean, that's our job, to challenge the conclusions and continue to reevaluate the evidence. That's what we're supposed to do as scientists.
You've been in the science community for a long time, I believe. When did you see this kind of shift into like scientists who behave like politicians?
It started in the late 1980s, but it was really just a few people. They were attracted by seats at the big policy tables, and it was just a few elite kind of scientists. After ClimateGate in 2009, 2010, I saw a big uptick in activism. And it became more appealing, apparently, to a wide number of scientists to become activists. And especially after, I would say, the fifth assessment report from the IPCC in 2013, there was another uptick. And now it's become so bad, say in the last 5 years, that it's very difficult for somebody who isn't an activist, it's sort of the default expectation. You're an inactivist. Everybody, if you're not for them, if you're just trying to be neutral and do your science, I mean, the activists regard you as being against them. It's just become, it's not science anymore. This is politics. It's a very sad situation.
Yeah, and I do understand as a young scientist, much of yours, if you're not governmentally employed, then you have to go out and do some research, and you need funding for doing research, and mostly this kind of funding come from government, and they decide which is going to get that or not. So if your project or your interest is not in climate or climate consequences, then you will probably not get funding for your research.
That's true, and they even like in the U.S. they have announcements of opportunity. They give you topics that they're accepting proposals on, so they've already sort of pre-accepted, a certain line of research and dismissing other lines. So it's very difficult.